give you a rest for a few minutes, all right?
It's a pleasure and it's an honor. Gil Boyne.
You have to do 55 years, so when you walk in there...
Less. Less.
I want to tell you some ways to get started, because that's important.
Raise up the chair for him. Yeah.
The first show I did was a little bit difficult to get started. I was living in a residential hotel on Rossmore, which is a continuation of Vine Street in Hollywood. And it was a pretty swinging place. There was a bar there, and it was a pretty good place at night. I was a single fellow. And I told the manager of the club, the night of the club they had in there, that I did that I could do a hypnotism show. So printed up a little thing. He put it in the mailbox of all the residents. There were about 200 apartments in the building. And there was one big meeting room. So now, people me and saying they were coming, came the night to go into the room. It's locked. I went down to the desk. Well, one story led to another. I couldn't get in. Whoever had the keys to that room wasn't on duty. Now these people are showing up, and I'm saying, please wait in the lobby because we have a few things to do. And this building jutted out, this room on the second floor kind of jutted out from the edge of the building. I said, how am I going to get this open? So there was a little ledge around the windows. I'm going to crawl out on the ledge because I see an open window over there. There had been some kind of a function there the night before, nothing but tables littered with dirty dishes.
Oh my God.
So I opened the door. I went down to where everyone was waiting, because it was a free show, they're going to wait. And I picked out a couple of strong-looking fellas, like Craig, and I said, I need some help. Come on. And we got up there and started cleaning up everything. Then I went down to that, said, where do you store the chairs? I took my helpers, found the space where all the chairs were stored, lugged them up to the second floor, put all the chairs in place, had swept everything out. By now we're running about 45 minutes beyond the starting time.
Yeah.
And finally I went to the lobby and I said, the show is ready to go on. So that was my very first show. I hope that yours go easier than that. I met a man. I did my first very legitimate booking. It was a Jack Kelly Jr., Jack Kelly's son, and do shows for benefit, get known, so that when there's various benefit entertainments for charity, you donate your show. And so he happened to be at such a benefit show. And we got talking. And he said, I think I can get you a good booking. He said, there's a club up in Fresno, right on the highway. It's quite a good hotel, a nightclub, Hacienda Hotel. He said, supper club and so on. I know the manager up there. So the next day he called me and he said, the fellow who ran the entertainment, he had a band and he booked acts in. And they had a booking in Northern California, in Redding, to take the band and everything. And I told him, I said, I've got a fellow who can fill the whole hour instead of having 3 or 4 acts as in the show. So he said, he's ready to talk to you. So this was really the first, as I said, kind of real venue I was working in. And the money wasn't all that great, but that wasn't the point. So I went up there in for 2 weeks. It was the beginning of the prom season in the local college up there, and they were having their dinners and all of that. And they just poured in, flocked in, these young college kids. I stayed for 8 weeks. In the meantime, then, an agent in Hollywood began to see and hear that I had some promise, and he talked to me and he said, I booked for 12 clubs in the West. And he said, I've got a number of acts that I booked. He said, sometimes they can't make it, they're sick or whatever. He said, would you agree to be a fill-in act for when my other acts don't? He had some pretty good name acts at the time. So that was the second step. Whenever one of these people weren't able to show up, whether it was Dallas or Vancouver or wherever, he'd call me, can you get to Vancouver in 24 hours? And I'll be there in 12 hours. I guess what I'm saying to you is, watch for opportunities, create opportunities. I said the one in the hotel was the first show. Actually, I did one just before that I didn't count. I ran a little ad in the newspaper. In the classified, it was 2 lines, hilarious hypnosis. A laugh a minute, something like that. And I got a phone call from a young girl, high school girl, and she said, we're putting on a benefit for the I think LA Orphans Home. Could you do a show? And I agreed to meet with them, and they had 2, it was I want to say Girl Scouts, something like that, a young girls organization. They had 2 women who were their, I'll call them chaperones, that really isn't the right name. And we had this meeting. One girl said, well, my father's a printer. He can print up all the flyers and the tickets. And the other one, her father would do something else. So we had it all arranged. Oh, Huntington Park is where it was. And the city had this hall and said, because it's a charity event, we don't have to pay for the hall. So I agreed, and there's a story connected with it, because they asked then, when the details were ironed out, they asked for a demonstration. All right, get lined up here. So I gave the demonstration. When it was over, I brought them all up, all high school girls, and I'm finishing talking. There's a couch over here, and one girl says, Mr. Boyne, what? Look, she fell into it again. I see this one young girl falling into my life. So I went over, brought her up, and so on. Go back to talk again. Mr. Boyne. She fell over again. So I started talking to her, and I said, now look, I want you to be wide awake and stay awake. Is there something you need to tell me or ask me? She said, yes. What is it? When you do this show, can I be on the stage? I said, yes, provided. So that ends that part of it. Now we're doing the show in this auditorium in Huntington Park. And this same young girl, I had her, when she was hypnotized, get up and sing like some popular singer at the time. I forget who it was. And she really did a great job. And after the show was over, her mother came running up to her and said, well, that was wonderful, darling. To think that you could sing like that. She started crying because now she was no longer hypnotized. So that was really the first one. The other one I told you was the second. After I did well in Fresno, that really started my career. And benefits, go out to organizations, talk to organizations, ranging all the way from the Lions Club to, if you go down to your local Chamber of Commerce, ask them for the organization meeting book for that town. Now in that book you'll find every organization in that community, where they hold their meetings, how often, president's name, and the program chairman's name. That's the one you're interested in. It all depends. In the city of Los Angeles, that book has about 3,500 organizations in it. In Glendale, it may be 70 organizations. Write a letter. Now remember, the program chairman, for example, the Lions Club, they have to come up with a new speaker every week. Other organizations, you kind of tailor what you do. I used to do all the Parents Without Partners chapters. These are all free talks, but they're not really free because you're going to get clients, and you're going to be people coming up and asking you to do shows. The first level is the charities. Well, I am this charity, and would you offer to donate your show? Later, I got into the principle of saying, yes, this is the way it works. I'm not able to say I will do this for free. However, the way we'll do it is, when the show is ended, you will present me with my fee, a check back then, this is many years ago, for $500. I will then turn to you and say, I wish to donate this check to your charity. And of course, they would agree to that. But I didn't do the show for free. You see, I was paid and then donated it.
Can I butt in here for one split second, sir? I'm sorry. Now in Canada, actually, there is a law. You must exchange the money exchange when you do the charity. So money has to be given out from them, and from you, your check has to go back to. So it has to be documented.
So they found what I did and decided to make it a law.
It is really, like otherwise you cannot write it off into your income tax purposes. There has to be physical paperwork exchanged.
You just told me, how long ago was it that you came and took the
When I went to school,
Yeah.
1990 wasn't when you got your check.
Came out and said, he called 1990 and said, I want to learn stage hypnotism.
Right.
And he was told, we don't teach that here. But you have to learn hypnotherapy. So he came and learned hypnotherapy.
Exactly right.
That's 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And in the
Never forgot.
In the pre-conference class, a lady brought her friend in, and he said to me, I took a self-hypnosis class from you when you were on Wilshire Boulevard, and that's 35 years ago.
I remember.
Yeah.
She started crying because of her voice,
Yeah.
because of the voice.
Oh, yes. I heard the voice.
She remembered your voice.
I left stage hypnosis because I had been doing hypnotherapy, and well, now the pieces are coming into place. The way that I met Jack Haley Jr. was at an organization, a male organization called Saints and Sinners, which was founded by show business people. And every Monday night there was a nightclub over on Fairfax Avenue, long since gone, called Billy Gray's Bandbox. And we used to meet there. And various entertainers would stop in. We had a piano. Milton Berle would come in, Billy Daniels, the singer, all kinds of people. And they tell sexual jokes and all kinds of things. But when you became a member, you had to entertain. Give a talk, sing a song, do a dance, tell some jokes. And I did the hypnotism show. And the agent was there. And that's the agent that introduced me to Jack Haley and how that other show developed. The main thing is have your business cards or brochure, a little threefold. This is from the threefold. That's from the Immigration Service. I was there today. Now, if you go anywhere, you have to have be fingerprinted and photographed and put it all in the computer. All 10 fingers. I did that this morning. But that's a threefold, you see. Easy to carry it in your pocket or whatever. And you got 6 panels, and you can say a lot. Business cards don't work as well as something like that. Get some artwork, some pictures. Don't try to lay it out yourself. Spend $100 or $2, go to a graphic artist and get it done properly. For my self-hypnosis classes, I remember I paid a graphic artist $85 to lay out a brochure, a threefold. I used it unchanged for 27 consecutive years. That same design layout, was it worth $85? You bet. You bet. I see so many students who lay out their own on the computer, they don't look very good. They just don't look very professional. You all met Lady Kuitai. She has a great sense of aesthetics and color and art, you know, and she has very nice materials. Artistic. Okay, give talks. Mention stage demonstrations. If it's a group that, you know, maybe is not entertaining, you have to make a DVD. I'm sure that you've been told that. Agents, in my day, they used to say, "I'll send someone out to see your show." You call and say, "I'm doing a show at so-so. I'll send someone out to see it." They rarely did. Of course, it was much more difficult to book a hypnotist. I remember this agent who had lots of big name acts, and he tried hooking me up with different acts. I remember hooked me up with a jazz organist. Couldn't sell it. They just didn't want, club owners didn't want a hypnotist. And one club I played, the management was very precise. They had it all on computer, how many drinks per hour they sold on every night with every act. And he came to me and said, "We sell fewer drinks when you're here." And he said, "I figured it out. They're so interested in watching it, they don't drink, and then they're busy talking about it afterwards." Believe it or not. And, if a singer's up, they can listen to the music and get tipped, or a comedian, and keep drinking. But they're too interested in the hypnotism to drink as much. Yes.
So is that when you incorporate drink breaks into your show?
I wouldn't. One of the worst things can happen to you is to have drunken people on the stage.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one story and then I'm gone. A friend of mine, his name was Ted Boyer out of Akron, Ohio, and he used the stage name Trajan Boyer. And he was appearing out on the club called on the Strip, Sunset Strip, a club called the Interlude, a Crescendo. The Interlude was upstairs. And so he invited me out to see his show. Well, this man came up on stage. I mean, I'm telling you what I learned afterwards, and I'll tell you what happened that I witnessed. Man came up on stage for the first show of the evening, and he didn't go into trance, pulled his hands apart and all of that, so he was dismissed. And Ted said, "You may be a little too tense for this, please leave the stage." After the show, the man came up and said, is there something I can do that I can get into hypnosis? Said, "I'm playing in a pro amateur golf tournament tomorrow, and I'm just a nervous wreck. I won't sleep all night. I was hoping maybe I'd get some relaxed, or you could whisper a suggestion in my ear." Ted said, "Why don't you have a couple of drinks until the next show, and then come on up." Now comes the part where I'm watching the show. He started, by now you should all know what the hand clasp response is to begin the show. Hands are locked, try to pull your hands apart. Those who pull them apart, you dismiss. Those who don't, stay on the stage. When this man saw that he couldn't pull his hands apart. He threw his head back like that and began projectile vomiting in a packed nightclub on Saturday night. Not once, not twice, but 3 bursts. And it was just going out and filling the air. About 12 feet out. People running, like you never saw, scrambling. The owner told me later he estimated it cost him about $3,500 in unpaid checks and cleaning bills. That was a disaster. Fortunately, I wasn't in the line of fire. I was in the wings. What was the worst thing ever happened to you?
You don't want to know. The worst thing probably ever happened to me. Let me quickly. I told them a couple of stories. To me, the worst experience was, I think, when I did a show in a Christmas show, and I'm doing the induction, so all these people sitting on my chairs, about 15 people, I think, that time 16 maybe, and even through the entire induction, one fellow is sat through the entire induction like this. I said, close your eyes. Okay, this went on. Then I do the suggestibility test, figure out who's going to be in the show, who's not dismissing, centering the best ones. Not even a blink.
I'll make a guess.
Wait.
He may have had a subconscious belief, as long as I don't close my eyes, I can't get hypnotized.
That's a good one, I don't know. But listen, anything I started to do a show, he does not responding to anything. I tell him to open your eyes, to close your eyes, relax you, send you back, stand up. Anything I tried, he's just absolutely non-responsive signals. The audience sees this. So I'm there to do an entertainment show. I'm trying to...
And they're all watching him.
And everybody's watching him. They know there's something wrong. So I'm carrying on, trying to save the show, working with the rest of the people. We're creating these callback ideas, so they're responding to the post-hypnotic suggestions. And he's just there. Well, in the meanwhile, I'm keep going back to him and, try to work on him, figure out what the heck is going on. Listen, this went on for about an hour. Nothing, total cataleptic gaze. Not even a blink. I'm panicking inside. The audience sees this. I tried all the development techniques and all those, I will never take you this down and deeper relaxation if you don't come out of it now. The techniques. I tried every trickerism what I could have think of back what I learned. Nothing works. Not even blinking. Eventually I just gave up and I said, you know what? I think, man, you need some very serious therapy. Listen, in the moment when I said this magic word, you need some serious therapy, from this momentum, I don't need therapy. And walked away. I was like, what's wrong? What's going on here? You don't know. But look, when the first time this happened, I was scared to death that I screwed up something or I made a mistake or I'm hurting this, because I didn't know how to get him out of this. It was a horrible, horrible feeling.
Something that relates to that, you're doing a stage show, and you've selected your subjects. Everyone's working well except one. No, not with the eyes open, but they're sitting. It appears that they're in a trance because they are. They just don't accept any suggestions. Everyone else gets up and dances or whatever it is. They just sit. Don't be concerned. There's a level of trance. Some have called it the plenary trance, in which the subject they're quite deep in the trance, but they have a powerful disinclination to move or speak or think or act. I've had those subjects tell me afterward, I was doing everything you suggested in my mind, but they won't do it physically. They're just in that level of trance. Don't be concerned. You can make little jokes, you might turn and after 5 minutes and say, I think he was a little too busy last night, or whatever. Say, his wife was complaining to me earlier, whatever. And so that you turn their interest and wonder why isn't that person responding, you make a little fun of it, you see, get them laughing. And then as they laugh, then they begin to turn away and pay attention to the rest of the show. You've had that, I'm sure.
Yes. May I address the question?
Of course.
I have noticed that occasionally happens where older people, especially ladies, but I have seen this with men and women, and I'm talking about the 60 and older. They become very childlike. And without me giving any indication to regression or suggestions, I'm just carrying on the same routine, same shows or same ideas, but these old, elder people, they just simply become very childlike and they're behaving, talking and acting like they are little kids. Would you be able to comment on that? Because I personally haven't figured it out.
First, I'll start from memory. As aging develops, you all have met John Butler. Well, John is a brain specialist. He's dissected 500 or 600 brains as part of what he does in the hospitals and the medical teaching that he does. The brain shrinks as you get older. That's what I learned from him. And because it shrinks, certain functions are affected. Memory, the short-term memory. But those who can't remember what they said or did 5 or 10 minutes ago easily remember 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago in vivid detail. And I think somehow that's linked to what you're talking about. That ability to remember way back there. Sometimes I walk from the kitchen over to the refrigerator, and then I stand there and say, what did I come here for? And the only way I can remember is go back to where I started from. I'll stand there and the memory, oh, you are going over to get the mustard out of the refrigerator. How many ever experienced that?
Can I show you guys a little short of the story on this one? Please. It's so amazing because I found this little article that it's really to the memory. So I have to put this in here. Just give me 1 second.
Seconds on good.
I'm going to pass it back to you, sir.
I was playing in the club down by the LA airport. It was Japanese style. The subjects got up, they're just nicely going into a trance. And from the back of the room came the following voice, a woman's voice, drunken, hysterical. You wake him up! Screaming at the top of her voice. Now I've got spotlights in my eyes. I can't see who it is. The room is darkened. But I hear her moving up toward me. You wake him up! All I want is for her to get close enough so I can address her. Finally, I said, which one is it? Pointing her finger at the man. You wake him up! And so I did. Got him off the stage. Now, what happened? This is the way I analyze it. That was her husband. She'd been controlling him all of their married life, and she saw him go under someone else's control, and it drove her out of her mind.
Okay, so I found the story that if I can be glad in there. So this is how it goes. I decided to go to do some work on the car. Start to the garbage, going to the garage, I noticed that there's mail on the table. Okay, I'm going to do work on the car, but first I'm going to go through the mail quickly. I lay the car keys down on the desk. After discarding the junk mail, I noticed the trash can is full. Okay, I will just put the bills on my desk, but first I will take the trash out. But since I'm going to be near my mailbox, I will address a few bills and mail them off. Yes, now where is the checkbook? Oops, there's only one check left. Where did I put the extra checks? Oh, there's my empty plastic cup from last night on my desk. Well, I'm going to go look for those checks. But first, I need to put the cup back in the kitchen. I have for the kitchen, look out in the window, notice the flowers need a drink of water. I put the cup down in the counter, and there is my extra pair of glasses on the kitchen counter. What the heck are they doing there? I will just put them away, but first, I need to water those plants. I have for the door and someone left the TV's remote on the wrong spot. Okay, I will just put the remote away and then water the plants. But first I need to find those checkbooks. The end of the day, they still haven't changed the oil in my car. Bill still unpaid, the cup is still in the sink, the checkbook still has only one check left, and I lost my car keys. And when I tried to figure out how come nothing got done, I'm baffled because I was so busy all day long.
One thing leads to another. When you said car keys, many years ago, how many? Maybe 60 years ago. I was a young man married. I had a little girl. And she was still pre-verbal. What is it, about 2? I was a door-to-door salesman. I sold encyclopedia. And I'm ready to go to work, and I start looking for the keys to the car. I cannot find the keys. My wife is looking, I'm looking. I never lose my keys, always put them in the dresser, Searching. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And I don't know what led me there, but in the child's room, we had a dollhouse. And it had rooms in it, little doors, and an attic. And something led me there. Subconscious mind, divine spirit, whatever. I opened that little door to the attic and poked my fingers in there, and there were my keys. There's no laughs in this story. It's just an unusual story. I was reminded when you said keys. Remember I said old people can remember 60 years?